Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll, and I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Live here from Woody Anderson Ford, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you, walking up to Braves baseball. Look at these Bravos. A little bit of a heater, now back up to 500 after 42 games, 21-21 on the season. Bryce Elder on the mound tonight. Wish I felt excited about that. I texted a couple of other sports talk radio hosts today, and one guy got back to me saying it was mean-spirited. I was looking for odds on Pete Rose making it into Cooperstown. No? Mean-spirited? Yeah.
Wrong with that.
Yeah. Is that too mean-spirited? Anyway, I did watch 8 Men Out last night. I just felt the need to do that. And of all nights, tonight is Pete Rose night in Cincinnati, and they're playing the White Sox tonight in Cincinnati.
That was on purpose.
I mean, just
I was reminded. I was listening to Blitz this morning with Jill Hunk and John Abraham, and they also reminded me Field Dreams is a good tie back to that.
Yeah. It is.
And
that's another good one.
And also drop some knowledge on us too. It's going to be like 2026 or 2027 before they even vote on these players getting into the
December of 27.
December
is the next
27.
time.
Okay, so almost 28.
Yeah,
so
pretty near.
It's not like
So
rubber
this is
stamp
why
is
I
gonna
was
happen.
This is why I was looking for odds on.
So you're playing the long game. Is what you're saying.
Just saying. I mean, gambling is a prevalent part of our world now. I thought there might be odds on Pete Rose making it into baseball's Hall of Fame.
If you're going through life, you've got to admit gambling exists. Life is a gamble. Thank you very much.
Well, tonight's game is on FanDuel. So, anyway. All right. I digress.
Do you think if he hadn't lied that
he'd already be in?
I don't think so.
He'd already be in.
If
he didn't lie and just owned it and just said, yep, I sure was.
He might have been in, but I don't think so.
Well, his numbers are too good.
Well, they're too good, but he was betting on the game.
I get that. I do.
That's just and if they knew it then, he wouldn't have had the numbers because he'd been admitted.
He had to have been betting as a player too. That we don't know, but there is high speculation that he was.
You can't prove he didn't.
Yeah.
That's the long and short of it. You can't prove he didn't. If you can't prove he did, you can't prove he didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, if he'd have been a better person off the field, I think that would have gone a long way too. I think it's a combination.
But then you
of
can make
everything.
that argument about Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
By
the way, I did look it up.
Was Ty Cobb betting on baseball?
No,
but he was
a
a royal
turd. Yeah, just a turd.
Yeah, but he
but I mean, it's not a hall of
You can't be but I'm not saying that when you make a huge error like he did for as long as he did, it goes a long way to have a little humility, and he never had that.
And it's interesting to me rewatching 8 Men Out last night, how much the gamblers were involved, obviously, of controlling an event like the World Series. And
there were a lot of guardrails that weren't in place at that time, not just in sports.
One of the more notable, maybe this is
So what I understand by just what I read, I hadn't watched 8 Men Out. That they were talking about it in front of him. That he really didn't participate, but he should have told on them, is what they said about Joe Jackson.
Correct.
Right.
I think he hit 375 in the 8 games at the only World Series home run, but he knew about it, and I think he pocketed $5,000 from it.
Well, he recanted that later. He said he did in the innings, but he recanted it later. My barometer of this is like you put him on a scale like 1 to Bob Uecker, and no one is arguing that Bob Uecker belongs in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and just from on and off the field. But how low are we going to set the bar now? Sure, we're going to lift the ban, but I still think there needs to be some sort of, for want of a better term, a moral threshold you got to get over. And knowingly betting on baseball, whether you get a ban from the company or not, I think that has to weigh into the decision whether or not you admit them to the hall.
Well, he'll
this is the quote from the gambler
he makes,
in the movie.
It's a good point. Yeah,
absolutely.
But it's just like I feel like now he's gone. He's no longer with us. He was a great player.
One of the more memorable.
There's always going to be an asterisk by his name.
Oh yeah,
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, and maybe that's why he was such a.
If someone ever breaks his hitting record, this will come up again.
Yeah,
which is going to be a long time. But one of the more memorable quotes from one of the gamblers that was played in the movie was that because each person was not paid. Buck Weaver never got a cent, although he did not agree, but he knew about it. That's why he was one of the 8 men out.
You know what you feed a dray horse in the morning if you want a day's work out of him? What? Just enough so he knows he's hungry.
I mean, it's
yeah. So
sounds like Charlie Comiskey talking too.
I just don't believe that knowing something or suspecting something that you're supposed to say something. I mean, you have to absolutely know it was happening.
So one part the movie got wrong, because I read into it afterwards, was the quick turnaround for the trial. It was not a quick turnaround.
Oh, not at all.
The 1919 Black Sox trial took place in 1921.
I got you.
So
yeah, they played the whole 1920 season.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So I mean,
they played the whole 1920 season.
Sure did.
The year after.
Yeah. Didn't win.
So yeah.
Indians won the.
So change the subject a little bit. Did you see about T-Bob?
Yes, I did. Mr. Barstool. I texted
Mr. Chicago.
That's right. So
he didn't even answer my call.
He answered me.
Is he too big stuff now?
Yeah,
big
he answered
stuff.
me.
Mr. Big Stuff.
He got a job with Barstool, and so I sent him a link to.
So what does that mean, Steve?
Look at you, Diamond Jim.
What is Barstool?
I really don't know. I know they're a big corporation. But I don't know.
It's a big sports like multimedia thing, and they have regions now. Way back for a hot minute.
He told me he didn't know exactly what he's doing.
Well,
I said,
no. Then he's overqualified.
So I've been pumping whiskey and wine.
And it's gone.
And it's gone.
It's gone.
I'm so disappointed.
But I did text him afterwards, sending him a link to Louis Grizzard's book. If I ever get back to Georgia, I'm going to nail my feet to the ground, because Louis went to Chicago, to be a sports editor,
and he said it was the longest time of his life.
Hated it. Just hate.
I mean,
it's a great book.
Wasn't for a hot minute? Wasn't Pat McAfee part of Barstool? Just like
I'm going to say I don't know that answer.
Very briefly, and then went on his own.
The pizza guy.
The pizza guy always goes to pizza. The owner of Barstool always goes to pizza. Portnoy.
Yeah.
And didn't he sell it and then buy it back?
I don't know that answer.
I think he did.
I don't know that answer.
I know enough to be dangerous about it.
I know that Nick Saban spoke to the media today.
If only there was some sort of worldwide informational resource at our fingertips.
You would think. Nick Saban spoke to the media today down at the Regions Championship. Here is what the former Alabama head football coach had to say.
How's everybody going?
Good, Nick. How are you, Coach?
Yeah, miss you all. You know that. Yeah. So we're always happy to be here. This is one of the things that I look forward to every year. Great experiences to develop relationships with some of the great players in golf who have great reputations and have been great for the game. So this is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to playing with Charles today. I've always looked up to Charles, and I thought he was a great player, but he does a great job professionally in terms of media, which you all are part of. And I certainly respect the fact that he comes home and supports the community like he does. So it's something I'm looking forward to.
How much has the handicap improved since retirement?
It hadn't improved at all. In fact, this is the only game I've ever played. The more you play, the worse you get. It's unbelievable. So, but we have fun doing it. So, down in Florida where we live, they send a limo to pick me up because the guys know they're going to make money.
Nick, this commission on college athletics has been talked about. What would that process look like?
I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't really know much about this commission. I don't really know what this commission would do. I think we know what needs to be done. I just think we've got to figure out who's got the will to do it. I learned one thing about coaching for all these years that when you get into a subject like this, it's very complex. It's probably good enough to talk about it off the cuff. So, I'll find out more about it. If there's something that I can do to, help college football be better, I'm always going to be committed to do that. I was committed to do that as a coach to help players be more successful in life, and I would continue to do the same thing now.
Are you worried about the game right now?
Not really. I mean, I think that there's always things that we could do to improve it. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are concerned about the direction that we're headed in. But I also know there's a lot of good people out there that can do the type of things you need to do to get it moving in the right direction.
You saw year one under Caitlin at Alabama. What's your expectation for year two when the program goes?
I don't really have an expectation. I know those guys are working hard to do the best they can. And, there was a difficult transition with the number of players that moved, new system, new people, players in the organization had to make adjustments. So I would say that everybody's probably a lot more settled in this year, and I hope they do extremely well.
That is Nick Saban from earlier today.
He's so good.
No questions on Trump.
No. So, yeah.
That would have been my question of tell me about your conversations with the president and how he received your information. And what was some bullet points that you were telling the president?
And he would have dodged them just like he dodged those. So I don't think he told the president anything other than it was broken. Everybody knows what needs to be done.
They're going to play golf at Alcatraz. That's what they're
going to do.
Yeah. It's a small course there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
really,
I think we ought to have swim lessons there. Solve a lot of problems. Anyway, so
depending on which way you swim, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter in Alcatraz Island.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So when you look at what has to be done, first of all, if they listen to Coach Saban along the way, and he kept telling them they were making all these errors, and they just kept helping Alabama. Right? I mean, literally, everything they did, he turned on their head. If they listened to him then, we wouldn't be in this mess. And so it's easy. If you're going to pay the players, it's obvious you have to have a contract. You don't want the NFL. You want to have some type of parity on the payment the school is giving them. Not only true NIL, needs to be true NIL. That way, there's no way they can say you're limiting what I can make. Because anybody can sign NIL for anything, but NIL has to be true NIL. It can't be from the school. Can't be to go visit people in hospitals and pay them $700,000 a year. Can't do that. But if they get that they can profit from their jersey sales. They can profit from the things normal people will.
What a novel thought.
Yeah, they can profit if Woody Anderson Ford wants to pay Auburn, Alabama player to be sponsored, they can pay him
for a TV ad,
for stuff like that to represent their product, just like a normal. That's the
Olympic model.
Name, image, and likeness. It's not, hey, I don't know who you are, but you're gonna play safety. It was reported to me yesterday. That there's recruits out there wanting $700,000 for their first year at high school. They're not quarterbacks. So I mean, it's getting to the point of ridiculous. And who knows if they'll ever even play as freshmen. So you're gonna pay a kid $700,000 to show up, and it doesn't make sense. It's the Texas spending $40 million.
That's right.
Oh, that's crazy.
On their roster.
If they don't
Kurt Bowles reporting that.
They ought to get fined $10 million if they don't win it all. If you're paying $40 million. I mean, it's ridiculous. This has to end. Not that they shouldn't be making money again.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah. NIL is where is the thing they hang their hat on.
The Charles in that Coach Saban was referring to was Sir Charles.
Yes.
Sir Charles Barkley, who also spoke to the media. He got off the air, I think, around 2 a.m. last night after the NBA playoffs. So a quick turnaround for old Sir Charles.
It's always great to come to Alabama, and this is a great week for Birmingham. I appreciate all these guys coming here. I hope the fans come out and support just Birmingham. But it's always an honor. It's a lot for me, obviously. I worked at 2 a.m, went straight to the airport, then I got to go back and work tonight. But anything that I can do to help Alabama is always an honor and a privilege. And shout out to the Auburn Nation.
Will this be your first time golfing in the table?
Yeah, it will be. And it's always an honor to be around Coach Saban. He's the greatest college football coach ever. I have a lot of admiration and respect for him. You know, he's asked me to speak to the Tide a couple of times. It meant a great deal to me for him to ask me to do that. And I would do anything for him because I just got so much admiration and respect for him. So it's going to be fun today.
What do you expect out of him in his new role with the Presidential Commission for College Athletics?
Well, I don't even know. I mean, college athletics is so up right now. I don't know what they're going to do to fix this thing. And, you know, NCAA, they're just a bunch of idiots and let it get so out of control. So I don't, the problem you're going to have, I don't know how you put toothpaste back in the tube. So he got his hands full. I don't know how they're going to do it. He's probably the right man for the job, but it's not that simple as the right man for the job.
Charles, you look really good.
Thank you, brother. I'm getting there.
How much weight have you lost?
I'm down about 50 pounds. I want to lose another 50.
Another?
Yeah.
I get down to what?
270 because I gained 100 pounds when I got my hips. So I'm working with a new company called Road.co. I'm doing a drug called Zepbound. But Dr. Andrews told me, ain't no fat old people. So he told me to get my fat ass in shape. So I'm really working hard on it right now.
That's a little bit of Sir Charles. I mean, I'm telling you, if you ask him a question, he'll give you an answer.
Right. So I've spent some time around him.
I know. And he won't answer my calls.
Well, yeah, I never pulled that, but he's the nicest guy to be around. A true.
Would love to get him on one day.
Yeah, well, next time I see him, I'll talk to him. He is. I just.
He's a busy fella.
Yes.
Of course, he's at the Regions tournament. There has his golf swing improved any?
He had nowhere to go but up.
They showed it a little bit.
I was
a little
just
bit
watching
more
on YouTube.
Flow. Yeah, a little more follow through. No more hitch.
Because it looked like EMTs need to be standing by earlier, but now it's actually pretty good.
But he has slimmed down a good bit, and I was surprised to hear that he wanted to lose another 50.
Yeah,
there's no fat old people.
Well, I maybe the hip replacements helped his mechanics.
Maybe
it looks a lot smooth, but it looks like put Himsey on speed dial because something's happening.
So there may not be odds on whether or not Pete Rose can't find odds on whether or not Pete Rose is going to make it into Cooperstown, but there is now odds on college football winning totals that is set for the season. I'm going to tell you exactly who's at what total on the other side. Drew DeArmond going to dive into this subject with us as well, live here from Woody Anderson Ford. And by the way, over on WZZN TV, yes, I put it on the Thunderbird again. I mean, for obvious reasons. It is gorgeous there on WZZN TV. So hit the subscribe button over there on YouTube, and we will be right back. We'll dive into some win totals and hear from Drew DeArmond as well here on The Drive. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Coming up on Saturday, May 17th, it's the Colts Mayday Bass Tournament out of Joe Wheeler State Park to benefit the Clements High School Booster Club. The Colts Booster Association exists to make sure that the athletes at Clements High have what they need to perform at their best. And this is a great, fun way to support the program. Blast-off is at Safe Flight with the weigh-in at 2. An entry fee is just $100 per boat. The guaranteed payout for first place is $1,500 with a side pot for big fish as well. Learn more at coltsboosterassociation.org.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at Woody Anderson Ford, online at WoodyAndersonFord.com. And if you're in the market for a new used vehicle, or if you want to schedule a service appointment, they can come to you as well. You can book it online at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Easy to do so, and doesn't cost you any extra for them to come to you, be it at work, at home, if you work out of home, whatever. Just head on over to WoodyAndersonFord.com, schedule that service appointment. They will come to you for no extra charge. And I believe employee pricing is still going on here at Woody Anderson Ford, where it's
built in America by Americans, man.
Hard to get a better deal than that going on right now here at Woody Anderson Ford with employee pricing. So that is online at WoodyAndersonFord.com. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. If you'd like to participate, Hugh Freeze, Kalen DeBoer also spoke at the Regions Tradition earlier today. Here's what the Auburn head coach had to say.
I want to be very clear.
I thought it would take 3 full recruiting classes to get in the league roster. We've had 2 top 10 classes in our 2 full years. And so there's reason for optimism that we should be able to compete. Now, having said that, we had chances to win games last year too, and the year before we didn't, and I had to own that. They can't run from that, and I've studied it in depthly, and it was critical downs, turnovers, and really our kicking game. That really we could have had 4 more wins last year, even with the talent gap, and so. You add now more talent to it, hopefully, and better play at certain positions. That gives me reason for even more optimism. Now we've got to coaching well, and we've got to be excellent in those critical downs and situations. But there's reason for optimism.
He did go into his quarterback room, calling it possibly the best quarterback room in the SEC.
Don't think so. I mean,
I'm out. By the way, I'm going to stick up for my boy Ian Vachon. I seem to remember that Texas A&M game last year. Ian stepped up pretty good for the Auburn football team last year. Although I don't completely disagree with what Coach just had to say about special teams playing a factor there.
Well, yeah, it all plays a factor. He played a factor too, in my opinion. I mean, I think he lost that team last year. And I think that I think it's a mistake to go about what he's saying right now, even if he thinks they're better. It doesn't matter what the fans think.
Yeah.
If you win, they'll be there. They're going to come anyway, right? He needs to be telling the players and talking to that, and not in the quickest way to get fired is to build up talk about how good you're going to be.
That's why I wanted to play that right there.
And I think that's an error. I think they'll be better. I don't think I do think I think the quarterback room's better.
By the way, Auburn opens up on a Friday night, taking on Baylor. I think
they'll beat Baylor. I don't think Baylor's that good. I think that Auburn's going to be better.
Who would you rather have, Dave Aranda or Hugh Freeze?
Well, I'd rather whoever the coach is be at Auburn, to answer that question. I'd rather have Dave Aranda. I think he's a better X and O coach.
Yeah.
But only if he's at Auburn. If you're at Baylor, you're not going to have as good a chance to win as you do.
I hear you.
So,
Kalen DeBoer also spoke to the media before we bring in Drew DeArmond. His first question was about the offensive line.
Yeah, I think, one guy that did a nice job this spring and was kind of forced into action to play the tackle was Olaf. And, he did a really nice job. He's really placed a lot of emphasis on the body piece and just putting a lot of work in, whether it's in the weight room or just with nutrition. And I think that's really transformed and helped him be able to make that adjustment. Again, like I said, forced into action, giving us some depth that I think we feel confident in there. He's a versatile guy, can play inside and outside. And then there are some young guys, some young guys that, hopefully aren't forced into action, but guys that we're getting ready, and then you feel good about Proctor and Wilson, the guys that come back that have a lot of experience. So the rest of the offensive line, I think, as a whole, just working together is the only team when it comes to that position group. And those guys got good chemistry, and really having 4 of the main 5 back is important for us, and it's something I think that we can really build on the strength for us.
That is a little bit of Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear.
A little bit. I mean, it's
outside in the golf tournament.
They anyway. I feel like every year when I play stuff from the region's tradition, at least there's not like.
At least Charles Barkley told the truth.
That is Drew DeArmond, who is,
and he also met Grady the Greek.
Did he?
Mr. Charles.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Look at our X account. You'll see Grady.
Okay,
he's getting tall.
What grade is 7th, 8th?
He'll be an 8th grader prognosticator in the fall.
Nice. Well, they've been doing it a while there in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you, Drew?
I'm doing good, guys. Doing good.
Your thoughts there on what you heard about the O-line there?
Well, I mean, a big key to the drill is going to be keeping Caden Proctor healthy, which he never was last year, and then Wilkin Formby, because both of them are frontline guys, but they just don't have a lot of depth at offensive tackle.
I thought it was Caden Proctor hurt last year.
He tore his labrum in the first game, and then shot it, and when strapped up, shot it up, and played the rest of the year.
That's not fun.
Yeah. So if you remember, it did happen in warm-ups, and he had to go back.
That's right. I remember.
Yeah,
that. I didn't know they were shooting all year.
Yeah, and they didn't tell everybody what it was till after the game. It kind of leaked out. Well, this is what he did.
That's hard to do.
He played the rest of the year, including the bowl game, with that labrum situation. So, but
I think Formby, I went back and watched the tape on that game. They pulled him.
Yeah,
and he didn't play that bad. I mean, 2 of those holding calls were bad calls.
Yeah, a couple of them were. And
yeah,
he improved a lot.
Huge. He played great at the end of the year. That's in the last game, and he played a lot against LSU.
Yeah,
and had a touchdown block against LSU, and nobody notices that stuff.
Yeah, and that's why T-Bob offered him all that money.
Who did?
LSU.
Oh,
I mean, LSU came back to the well 3 times.
Yeah, he's in Chicago. T-Bob's in Chicago.
That's right.
Yeah,
he's a Bear.
Is that what we need to tell T-Bob?
Yeah, he's a Bear.
He's now officially a Chicago Bear.
It's the worst thing that I'm so disappointed just because whiskey and wine is. I mean,
well, he can do it remotely, man.
Do you think he will?
I
don't think so.
I don't see how.
Okay, update me. What has happened with T-Bob?
He got a job with Barstool, but he's moving to Chicago.
He's moving to Chicago.
Man.
He told me it's the Chicago hub, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I don't know fully."
Oh,
and I said,
God.
"Okay."
I mean, they've had to rejigger that show before. So who I don't. Moscona will certainly still do it. So who's going to join Matt? I mean,
I didn't realize he was on. Pretty much T-Bob's on the air 24/7.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he did
Pretty
so
much. Yeah. They anchor him with what's his name in the morning?
The fullback.
No, the former number 18.
Yeah, Jacob Hester. Jacob Hester, the fullback.
Yeah,
Hester was a fullback. He's the first player Saban offered when he got to LSU because he was committed to Texas, and Saban went and watched him practice. And as soon as he watched him practice, he's like, "We got to have that guy."
That was a great game against Florida when they beat Florida.
They
went for a 4th down 4 times.
Jacob played several years for the Chargers. He had a good pro career.
Yeah,
he had a good run.
He's a good dude.
No, he is.
I spent a lot of time around.
He's been on the program with us here.
Yeah, Jacob Hester. He's a beast, man. No doubt about that.
But something tells me we're not going to get the rants that we got from T-Bob.
No, I mean, it's just no. Who even thinks like that to say the stuff he says?
Right. I mean, I'm gonna miss him reading all the super chats.
So I was gonna pull for Clemson the first game. Now I got to pull for LSU again, just because I wanted to hear him on the radio. I mean,
I still wouldn't be shocked, depending on his duties at Barstool, if he still does at least the Saturday reaction.
I'm telling you that needs to happen. That needs to happen.
But he doesn't even know what he's going to be doing for Barstool. You said.
Well,
he has to have a clue.
I'm sure he probably knows.
Is it college football related?
I don't know that. He was very vague in our communication today, but I almost feel like we need some Sarah McLachlan music.
I almost feel like that he and Portnoy will end up in a wrestling match.
T-Bob kick his ass.
No, I would assume he would.
Yes.
I just, even though T-Bob, I told him he slimmed up a little bit.
Yeah,
but I'm going to miss him at SEC Media Days.
That's right.
Unless Barstool's covering it.
They
won't cover it.
No. They'd be covering the Little 10 because that's where Portnoy's bread is buttered.
Yep. This was the rant post Bama of November 2024.
Has this been bleeped out?
I played this for Connor when he sat in with us, and he said, "Can you send me this? Can you send me this?"
Man,
sure enough, I sent it to Connor.
Man, I wish we could find it just so we could make a liner out of it when he said "pissing in the wind" on my show.
It's
almost 10 years ago.
There's a lot of quacking involved in my edit here for this T-Bob rant. This is after Alabama beat LSU.
I'm so fucking sick of this shit, dude. All Louisiana, everybody just wants us to keep accepting being shitty, Why the are you mad? Why are you mad you're last? Why are you mad? Y'all just be happy. You have this, you have that. What do we got? We have sports. Okay, we have sports. That's all we got tonight. Okay. So we're on.
And we get to watch the Saints.
We're on. Look, I got the Saints who couldn't find their way out of the street corner if they had a gun GPS. I got the LSU Tigers who just got their slammed in by their arch rivals like they were in a wheelchair. I got the Pelicans who don't know how to keep anybody healthy for 5 games.
Wow.
If it could save their life. What the is going on? Like Jay Johnson, please,
Kim Mulkey.
Please, Jay, Kim, man, we need you. We need you now. Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope, because otherwise I'm gonna into oblivion. I'm gonna stick my fingers so hard up my own that I end up with a brain aneurysm. I think I'm about to have a heart attack, dude. My heart's beating very fast.
That's why I gave you you did chug 2 doubles mezcals. Like, that was an awful lot of alcohol
I'm
into
just
your
so
system.
sick. I'm just so disgusted by tonight. Dude.
I know. You should be. We all are. We're all very disgusted by tonight.
Okay, my bad. I'll come.
No, I don't want you.
My bad. The my bad at the end of it is my favorite part of that whole. My bad.
I was watching that. I was watching it live.
My bad.
I always tune in for it, that and tone.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
We communicate a good deal on that.
I mean, I changed Brett Beard's life by introducing him to Tone and T-Bob.
Yeah.
So that must live on. Matt Moscona, that must live on. I'll reach out to Matt.
Yeah, he's just going to have to do it remotely.
Yeah. Work out a deal with Portnoy or something. I mean, I just, the one thing that's hard.
What does Barstool do?
I mean, that's a great question.
I don't know.
I've never really understood what Barstool. Now, I will say that one thing they do have, and when we had Roll Tide with Willie on that and all that, they travel around to certain college football games, and they have like almost a game day kind of type show.
And they all bet big money on it.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Like, so it'll be interesting. I think they consider themselves national college football, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do, and if they're trying to bring a southeastern flavor, getting T-Bob, and if he's going to be traveling around the SEC and what he's going to be doing.
Well,
even though it's kind of strange.
Right now he does the after show for Jim Rome.
Interesting.
From basically right now. From the 5 o'clock hour, that's why we got him on at 6 o'clock when Connor was on with us.
Yeah, because I mean, and the thing about it is we didn't have the cameras back then, but Connor stood up and he just said, "Pissing in the wind," like he was.
That was that media days.
Yeah, that's what's gone.
The Hoover media days, way back when. All right, so
we're in Atlanta this year, right?
We are in the ATL,
and then I think Nashville the year after.
Well, that has not been officially put out there, but that's the speculation.
We're never going back to Birmingham again.
The speculation, since we're going there, is Atlanta, Nashville, Dallas, and just rotate it.
Those three.
Birmingham.
There's a possibility of New Orleans, at least what I've been told, but at least. The more concrete inside the SEC offices, what I've been told is Atlanta, Nashville, and Dallas, and just put the rotation on.
And then Birmingham would have to build a new hotel type facility to host.
They just can't handle it.
They can't handle it right now. It's gotten too big.
Yeah.
And
I didn't enjoy Dallas. Did y'all enjoy Dallas? I mean, I enjoyed what we did.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy
the setup, not as much.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first year, I didn't enjoy Atlanta. Now,
when we were in the basement,
they did a good job.
Yeah, they had us locked in the.
Had us locked in a closet.
Shelter.
Yeah. Sequestered.
Locked in a closet, like side by side, like a bunch of sardines.
Yeah. So I just so folks know, they give us this questionnaire. I'm not sure how many people care about this, but they give program directors a questionnaire afterwards.
Gotcha.
And after that one in particular, it was all unified. We all talked and said, this is what we don't like.
Yeah.
And so they did change it, and we're going to be at the College Football Hall of Fame again. So that was a nice
I
setup.
like the way they set it up the next time upstairs and then go downstairs to the main ballroom. It's a good setup. I mean, I
because you
enjoyed
can
it.
see the main ballroom as well from where we were.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
I agree.
being able to, and then I like being around all the displays and everything they have in the history of the game. It's really cool to be around that. I mean, see all the helmets in there, all the history of college football, and the College Football Hall of Fame should be in the South because that's where it's the most important. No disrespect to Big Ten country and everything like that, but they have NFL teams.
I was in South Bend before, and there's a lot of history.
I can't
there in
believe they
South
got
Bend.
it moved out of South Bend, to be honest with you.
Well,
I was shocked when they did that.
Well, it has
cool,
almost
too.
been 40 years,
Yeah, New York, though. New York.
I need to get a sponsored countdown clock to that.
in New York, that's where they used to have the War of Astoria. It was where they put my dad in the hall.
That's right. That's right.
Now they do it in Vegas.
Yeah. So
I have two regrets, really, of the whole thing. One is not going to Antonio's last year.
Yeah.
I forgot exactly what was going on. I think
I think it may have been the knee.
Yeah, I think it was the knee.
Yeah, because we told Antonio he was on the show and he didn't. I'm not sure he believed us at first.
Well, he told us he was coming up here.
Yeah,
this summer.
He's been saying that for a long
I know,
time. He's
but
never showed up.
I texted him, told him I'm going to hold you to it that you are coming up this summer.
Yeah,
so
and
we're
then-
trying to coordinate that right now.
And then not going to Walter Jones was just
Pro Football Hall of Fame, getting
Yes,
getting that invite to
Yes.
participate that in the ceremony. That is
I forgot
a
what was going
huge
on. But
regret.
yeah, so
Yeah. But Big Walt does so much for the community here in North Alabama as well, and honored to call him a friend of the program
100%
here on the drive. All right. Tell you what, we're going to dive into these win totals. Wes and Drew, I'd like to get your thoughts on these win totals that FanDuel has put out. These are the hard numbers for SEC teams heading into this season. So let's go ahead and take our final time out. We're live here from Woody Anderson Ford. We will be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures consistently climbing into the low and mid 80s across the Tennessee Valley. Maybe an isolated shower, but I actually think we're going to spend the vast majority of the day dry. Only dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight partly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid, in some cases, the upper 80s. It does look like we are going to be dry Thursday afternoon. Only dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A cloudy sky for your Friday, and once again, temperatures climb into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So again, Brian Temple, the idea is for me not to want to talk. That's a good tune right there.
Well, I do what I can. Since I don't know much about sports, I got to do something. That's all I can do.
Back here at Woody Anderson Ford, along with Wes Neighbors and Drew DeArmond, walking up to some Braves baseball, though we are going to sneak into hour number 2 and JIP the Braves here live from Woody Anderson Ford. Let's dive into some win totals, shall we? FanDuel has set the projected win totals, and the top one is tied. There are 3 teams projected to have 9.5 wins according to FanDuel. Care to give me the guess on which 3 teams FanDuel has set the over-under at 9.5? 9.5 is the number for the top 3 teams in the SEC.
Oh, the top 3 teams in the SEC. Okay. So Texas.
That's one.
Georgia, LSU.
No.
Georgia, Bama.
You got Georgia, Texas, and Alabama, all at 9.5 wins.
That tells me something there. That Alabama's
LSU at 8.5, by the way. Let's start with Alabama at 9.5 wins. To me, it feels like this is it's hard to think about Alabama being a sneaky good team. But, I mean, a playoff team, definitely.
Well, are they going to be 9-3 in a playoff team? Because they were 9-3 last year and weren't a playoff team.
Yeah, that's watch SMU. I guess you call that football.
Yeah, so that's, yeah. I don't see how Drew, do you think they – I don't know if they're going to
any one of those 3 teams.
I think they're going to lose 3 games.
Georgia, Texas, Alabama at 9.5. Any of those going over 9.5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think Alabama has the potential to.
Yeah. I do too.
I think Georgia will be under, and I think Texas will be over.
Yep.
I don't think anybody
Texas better be that good, or there's going to be some major hell raised with all the money they've spent. I mean, they've got talent everywhere, and then they've got a bust-proof Manning, as long as he stays healthy. I mean, that would be the only thing they could stop Arch.
But Sark should have won the championship last year with that team. I'm telling you. And they have some issues off the field. I'm telling you, they
wouldn't be Texas if they didn't.
Yeah, this is just. I mean,
your odds to win from ESPN Bet to win the national championship is tied between Ohio State and Texas.
And
they're going to work that out quick, aren't they?
Yes,
Don't
they are.
Play early.
Oh yeah, they play first game.
Yeah.
That's going to be the big noon kickoff. Hopefully, Lee Corso's final game will be Alabama, Florida State in Tallahassee. It's his alma mater. We'd like to see that. I mean, and I understand Alabama underachieved last year, and Florida State was horrendous, but it's still kind of poetic the way that works out.
You never know in the first games too.
And then Florida State's got so many new pieces, new coaches. You've got an old face in a new place, and Gus Malzahn.
The triple reverse pass is coming. I know it worked every time. Every time.
Well, and the Castellanos, the quarterback from Boston College, he's a plucky little guy, and he kind of fits Gus's MO. Because Gus never did that great with highly recruited QBs. Even Cam Newton was under the radar. He always did a nice job with the guys that were kind of, that people didn't have high expectations
Cam
for.
Newton wasn't under the radar.
Well, I mean, not long.
No,
but
there was two teams. He invented NIL.
Oh, I know. We all know Mississippi State thought they had him.
Yeah,
and that kind of altered history too. Because if Dan Mullen could have got him,
so
you never know.
Let's reel about. I think we're in somewhat agreement. Texas and Alabama over 9.5. Georgia under 9.5.
I think Texas and Alabama are going to meet in the SEC championship game. That's certainly going to be my pick. They don't play each other in the regular season, but
let's get to they also put 3 more teams tied for what would be 4th place at 8.5 wins. You want to guess these teams?
So there's 2 teams you said?
3.
There's 3 teams at 8.5.
8.5.
Okay.
That FanDuel. LSU's. I said that one. I said that one.
Ole Miss.
You got it.
Yeah.
How about one more?
Hold on. Let's see. South Carolina.
It's a really good guess, but that's not correct according to FanDuel.
Oh, wow. I would have thought. I thought that was a really good guess.
Tennessee at 8.5 wins.
Yeah,
Tennessee at 8.5. Ole Miss at 8.5, and LSU at 8.5.
Has a quarterback coming back, but they lost a bunch of players on defense,
especially up front. Man, defensively they were really good. Secondary
was special, man.
They had a really, really good defensive team, and I think Alabama kind of figured that out and I certainly did. I wasn't expecting to see what I saw in that game in Tuscaloosa, how good they were physically up front, because South Carolina hadn't been that good. And then you felt bad for South Carolina more than really even Ole Miss and Alabama at the end of the season, because they got robbed in that LSU game by incompetent officiating, or they're 10-2 and they're in the playoff, and SMU's over here, doing whatever they're doing, and they're out, in my opinion. And so because South Carolina would have been in, and remember how hot they were at the end, because they beat Clemson. So, and that would have been a huge feather in their cap to have beaten Clemson and gotten in. And so, and really, Shane Beamer, I thought, was coach of the year last year, in my opinion, even though they didn't get to the playoff, because nobody saw that coming. I knew he really liked Lenora Sellers from when we were in Dallas, Fort Worth, and the SEC media days, but nobody thought he would be that good that quick. And to be honest with you, if he doesn't kind of shoot himself in the foot against Alabama and turn the ball over, they probably beat the Tide after Milroe had one of his meltdowns near the end of that half, where and this is where the disconnect was, because Kalen DeBoer,
that was awful,
puts so much trust in his quarterback. He doesn't care if there's a minute and a half. Nick Saban is not as trusting, and I don't mean this in a negative way. Nick Saban is going to be conservative, going to run the ball, get to the locker room, make our adjustments.
That's why they call him the GOAT.
Right. And then Kalen DeBoer's a different style guy. He wants to continue to keep pushing.
But it was just stupid at the end. We gave up 3 points after we stopped them, after we turned the ball over. We throw them the ball. If we complete it, there's no time to do anything anyway. It was a stupid play. I don't care. You can make all the excuses in the world. That was a dumb football play.
With that, the makeup of that team last year, it was definitely a poor coaching job.
I don't care who was coaching. I don't care if we had the best quarterback in the nation. You sit on the ball right there, and we didn't. So there's a no-brainer to me.
Tennessee, Ole Miss, and LSU. Any of those teams going over 8.5?
I don't know. I don't trust Kiffin. Everybody knows that, nor Wild Turkey. So I know they're going to be talented. I mean, but I'm not buying this Austin Simmons thing yet till I see him, and again, a real game that matters, and I'm not a Jackson Dart guy. I mean, he looks great throwing against air for the Giants, but good luck when it matters.
I'll say this. I would say Georgia was a pretty good team last year, and Austin Mack went down the field in 4 throws and was a touchdown.
Yeah, and are you talking about Austin Simmons?
Austin Simmons.
Yeah,
well, yeah. Where does Austin Mack's at Alabama? Right?
Yeah, he's the backup, one of the backups at Alabama. Yeah, again, he may be really, really good. I mean, he's very
he
athletic.
has a lot of talent.
Yeah, and so we'll see.
Ole Miss starts out with Georgia State, then at Kentucky, then host Arkansas, then host Tulane, then LSU on September 27th. Open date, Washington State, thanks ACC, at Georgia, at
They're
Oklahoma.
not in the ACC, man.
Well, they've had to pick them up because Wake Forest.
That's right. Wake Forest was scared of getting whacked.
Anyway, at Georgia, at Oklahoma, home against South Carolina, the Citadel, Florida, open date, and then the Egg Bowl in Starkville.
Well, I just, but I will say this: Ole Miss lost a lot of talent.
Really,
too,
I mean,
especially on
that's
the schedule. Now, they do have Suntarine Perkins back, who will probably be a top 10 pick. I mean, he can rush the passer, he can drop.
Yeah, they lost the 30-year-old that been playing for 7 years. He's a good player. Yeah. They lost a lot of people. Now they're a portal type
organization.
Team, yeah, and listen, if they'll kick their field goals, they have a chance. They'll kick their field goals in the first half
instead of burning the popcorn.
No, yeah. So all 3 games they lost. This is true. All 3 games they lost, they had 5 times in the red zone on each of those teams and didn't score a point.
Oh,
they have 10 notable additions from the portal.
Yeah. So yeah, they're going to be good, and they could, but they got to put it together. Drew's right. I mean, about the Austin kid, I think he's going to be really good. But
Austin Simmons.
What is he going to do when he gets somebody plows him? That's what you don't know, and that's what So, but he has an arm. He's a lefty. They're going to have talented receivers. They'll have talent in the backfield. The offensive line was a problem last year at times, but there's nobody can get around those problems better than Lane Kiffin. Question is, will he kick his tag on field goals when you have it, so in the fourth quarter they don't have to worry about it.
There are 4 teams, according to FanDuel, that have the over-under win total at 7.5. 4 SEC teams, and yes, South Carolina is one of them.
Yeah, well, I was going to get that one first.
Yeah,
Auburn,
but they're in it as well. Missouri, 7.5.
Oklahoma.
No.
Texas A&M.
Oh, wow. Some people even have Oklahoma in the top 10.
How about that? Yeah, that's true.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Sports Center. I'm Nick DeLuca. The NBA playoffs continue tonight. Game 5, Knicks and Celtics back in Boston, New York, up 3-1 with a chance to punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time since 2000. It's the 3rd longest active drought in the NBA. Knicks are 11-1 all-time in series where they lead 3-1. Celtics have only overcome the deficit twice in franchise history. The last time was the 1981 Eastern Conference Final against the Sixers. Of course, no Jason Tatum for Boston tonight after suffering the Achilles injury in Game 4. Head coach Joe Mazzulla on how the team moves forward tonight.
It's a balance of both. We focus on the human being of who Jason is as a person, and we focus on the things that we have to do to win a basketball game. And so you should be living in those two spaces as an organization in general, separating the person and the player. This one, you have the empathy for the person, and then now we focus on playing the game and doing what it takes to win.
Missoula on the NBA on ESPN Radio pregame. Celtics will look to Jaylen Brown to step up. He's averaging 20 points on nearly 50% from the field in his career when facing elimination. Boston -5.5 on ESPN. Bet coverage on ESPN Radio affiliates with tip-off coming in a few minutes. In the NFL, the Ravens are signing running back Derrick Henry to a 2-year, $30 million extension. It's the largest deal in NFL history for a running back over age 30. He was entering the final year of his current contract, ran for 1,921 yards last season.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Thursday, we'll react to a pair of Game 5s in the NBA. Can the Knicks and Wolves close things out? We'll talk about it. It's Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here at Woody Anderson Ford. And yes, if you happen to be watching on WZZN TV, that is where we stream all of our local shows on the YouTube. That is a pretty picture there with the Thunderbird there over on our website. Excuse me, that is, well, what are you doing back there, Brian Temple? I see.
Well, another great resource for Woody Anderson Ford is WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Okay.
You get all of their list of their new vehicles, used vehicles. You can schedule your service there, whether you go to there at the main place or in Madison, or if you go to the Quick Lane, or if you do that mobile service where they come to you.
That's
you
right.
schedule right there, WoodyAndersonFord.com. And so this is the website you'd see when you go to WoodyAndersonFord.com.
And that is on our YouTube page. Subscribe and give us a like. Over there on YouTube, as well as Facebook, Instagram. Am I missing anything? I've been off of Instagram for a minute, so anyway, just moving on.
Don't go to Threads. It's a wasteland. Don't go to Threads.
Don't go to Threads. Okay. Although Threads is a place over in the Battery, which you will be at tomorrow morning, Drudy Armand.
Yeah, we're going to be headed out to the yard house.
Dark 30.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be Tokyo drifting, as we call that. And Scott and I will be leaving.
I'll be your producer in the morning.
2:30 in the morning.
That's right.
And we've got Chris Lee coming on, working on another guest. And so we're looking forward to being out there tomorrow before the matinee against the Washington Nationals. It'll be my first time at the Yard House. I mean, I've been around Truist Park, but
it's a pretty place.
You'll like it. I mean, it's a great place to walk around. But we'll be doing the show from there in the morning, and then of course,
first pitch is at 11:15.
Yeah, John Abraham will be on the Blitz, and
Tom. It'll be an all Abraham event.
Yeah, that's right. But since there's no Tom Abraham show, there's going to be the Abraham and Abraham experience.
From 9 to 11 coming up tomorrow morning from the Battery, and they're all going to be enjoying.
Just couldn't stand not be on, could he?
Well, Joe does have some other obligations. I think his youngest son graduating kindergarten.
Oh, that's way more important than anything we got going on.
The young Hunkapeller.
That's right.
Man.
So Joe's got to be there for that, and so. We're gonna and then like I said, because of the Alabama baseball series coming up, a huge one by the way.
Yeah,
Alabama,
Florida,
in Gainesville. This will be the last drive of the week, and
that's right.
That and then we'll be in Hoover next week. So we've been talking about that all week on the show. How fast the college baseball season has gone by. So this is the last regular season series. Alabama has got a chance to host a regional for the second time in 3 years. You know, in many cases, I think they need to win the series.
Just 2 games?
I mean, some believe 1, but I think 2 would be ideal. They've got the number 8 RPI in the country. They've played a tough schedule, and then it was so far so good. Knock on wood, they haven't been swept in a series this year either. So, but Florida's the hottest team in the SEC. They were 1-11 the first 4 weekends.
That's right.
And now the last 5, they've been 12-3, and so they're 13-14. And they're not out of the host conversation, but I think they're probably just going to be a 2 that nobody wants to see, aka if the Florida State Seminoles happen to see their biggest rival in Tallahassee in a regional, that would probably scare them a little bit. But again, Alabama's got a good shot. If they
ranked 18th in D1baseball.com.
And D1's projections this week, they had Alabama hosting. And I think, we'll talk to Chris Lee in the morning at Southeastern 16, but I think they have as well. But it would be in the 14, 15, 16 range. They would not host the Supers. Auburn, on the other hand,
they would be.
I mean, they are playing exceptional baseball. They destroyed Jack State last night.
Gracious.
And
what they did to South Carolina, although I know that first game was an obliteration, but the walk off as well in game 2 and took care of business in game 3.
I just, and everybody knows what we all think of Paul Maneri here at this stage, and he's one of the classiest men in college baseball, but he's got to be on some nerve meds right now.
Yeah. Well, it's year 1.
It's year one. It's been rougher than, and I can't remember how his beginning went at Notre Dame. I know it went well at LSU for the most part, but it's just that. And Mark Kingston actually did a pretty good job at South Carolina. But I've told people, when you change coaches, even if a Paul Maneri comes in, you might lose at least half your roster to transfers.
Yeah.
And then, or you could do what Texas A&M did and promote your hitting coach, Michael Early, and have one of the biggest flops in college baseball history. Because if they lose to your Dogs, 2 out of 3 or get swept this weekend.
Sunday was an important day for the Alabama baseball.
They're not even going to be in the tournament. Now, the crazy part about Texas A&M, they're so talented. They were preseason number 1. They've won. They beat LSU in a series. They beat Arkansas. They beat Tennessee. And then somehow they host a 0-21 Missouri squad. And they came in 0-21 in the league and somehow get 3 wins. And go and sweep Texas A&M in College Station. And I mean, the great Ron Polk told a friend of mine, because Ron Polk is still very involved in college baseball in Mississippi State. I went to that Alabama Mississippi State series because they were in town for A-Day, and Ron Polk was in the press box, and he told a friend of mine, there's only one really, because the friend of mine was saying, you guys are good. Yeah, they were struggling at the time. He goes, you're a lot better than your record. And he looked at my friend and said, Missouri's not. He thought Missouri was going to go 0-30, but I mean, they almost beat Alabama in the first game.
That's right, 5 runs out of the gate.
It's very difficult to continue to lose in baseball, though. Eventually, somebody's going to hit a bump, and so that's what happened. And now it's interesting because Mississippi State, ironically, is going to Missouri, and they need a couple wins to cement getting into an NCAA regional. But I think right now, if you're looking at the SEC, they got 16 teams. I think 13 are pretty solid to get in right now.
LSU, the number 1 team overall, according to D1 baseball at the moment. Texas is 3. Auburn is 6. Just going through the SEC teams, Arkansas 8. Vanderbilt 9, Georgia 10, despite the fact they lost 2 out of 3 to Alabama, with most of that action coming on Sunday that you heard right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Tennessee 17. We'll see whether or not Tony can stay in the dugout moving forward. Alabama is 18. And shout out to the Troy Trojans. Troy is 22nd in the nation as well, and Florida 23rd.
And by the way, they play the biggest series in Group of 5 baseball outside the Power 4 this weekend.
Southern Miss
at Troy. Troy is the only team in America that has not lost a weekend series all year long, and Southern Miss has only lost 1. And then I think it was in the D1 baseball projections with Alabama, I think the 14th national seed, they actually had Southern Miss coming to Tuscaloosa. Alabama's already played Southern Miss this year and beaten them. But if you draw Southern Miss in your bracket, that's a tough draw because they're really good.
Yes, they are. So. Back to the win totals. I tell you what, this is what Hugh Freeze had to say about his quarterback room earlier today at the region's tradition.
I mean, I said this somewhere here recently. Jackson is the number one. Do I want him to be pushed by Deuce and Ashton every single day? Absolutely. I honestly think we have one of the better quarterback rooms in the SEC. Now, we haven't proven it yet, but I think you stack those three guys in there. I think you got an argument that you got three pretty good dudes. But, do I want Jackson feeling like it's his and him getting that confidence and swagger? Yes. Do I want him looking over his shoulder thinking, dang, Deuce and Ashton had two really good practices today? Yes, I want both.
So that is Hugh Freeze from earlier today, specifically about his quarterback room. FanDuel has set the win total for Auburn at 7.5 games for the Auburn Tigers.
Well, I think they need to win 8 for him not to start feeling some heat. I'll just say that. And I thought they would win 8 last year, and probably should have. They choked a lot of games away offensively and defensively. The turnovers really though are what killed Auburn offensively. They weren't productive enough in the passing game. Keandre Lambert-Smith, I still, for the life of me, don't understand why he wasn't a top 3-round draft pick after I watched him live against Alabama. I believe Harbaugh drafted him in the 5th round.
That's right.
He'll be a really good pro. He was their best receiver. Cam Coleman had moments, but he had.
I like Lambert.
He had a lot of drops, but he was a freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman.
He has a lot of talent. Tall, big kid.
Right.
I'll see. Sometimes it takes a minute. I think he'll have a good year this year.
The one to watch out for, though, and I watched him at Georgia Tech some, West, because as you know, Georgia Tech had a pretty good team last year. They beat Miami. The vaunted Canes, who got the Jackson Cantwell, the number 1 offensive tackle in America, and it wasn't about the money. That's what Jackson said. Wasn't about the money, even though people around him didn't even know.
That?
I mean, it's what he said at his press conference. I'm just saying, but then you read some quotes from those in his inner circle, and they didn't know what happened. That was the quote. But and they all thought he was going to Georgia. But again, I've always said Mario Cristobal can recruit, and life wallet is a thing. I guess still, I don't know, but certainly they got him. But Georgia Tech beat Miami last year, and the guy to watch is Eric Singleton.
Yeah,
he's really, really good. He may have been the best receiver in the portal. And I'll say it again, and I was critical of him last year because they had a really good team. But how in blue hell, if you're James Franklin, can you let Keandre Lambert-Smith leave Penn State? And if they'd have had him in that said game in the playoff, I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's a difference maker right there for you that you got to hold on to if you're Penn State. Now, Auburn going out and getting Singleton was big.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a big playmaker. And they don't throw the football a ton at Georgia Tech. They have an interesting scheme. But, again, he's explosive, and I think he could be really good at Auburn. Now, Auburn's going to need balance, and they've got to replace a guy that he never got a lot of credit for his career at Auburn because they didn't win a lot. But Jarquez Hunter was a good player.
Yeah, he was.
And he's actually going to be a Los Angeles Ram, but I don't think they took him in the 4th round. But, he was a solid running back. Now, we'll see if the crew of guys, including Jeremiah Cobb, who I've always kind of liked as a kickoff returner, is one of these guys, ready to roll, to be the dude. But I just think, I think you guys made the best point, though. Probably the biggest key for Auburn is offensive tackle play. I mean, they have not, been really good up front in many, many years. And, I don't think they have, because when Hugh was at Ole Miss, he had guys like Laramie Tunsil, who was one of the best tackles in America, even though he'd never heard of Ole Miss. He didn't even know what Oxford was. But he was a really good player, and he still is up in the
grew up wanting to be a rebel.
Yeah.
That's a boy in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to ask T-Bob to find his high school.
Yeah. So Auburn 7.5, Missouri.
Laquan Treadwell, by the way, T-Bob.
Missouri at 7.5 wins as well. There is a lot to replace there for old Drinkowitz. South Carolina at 7.5 wins. Texas ATM, just for you, sir. Texas ATM at 7.5 wins as well.
Well, I'll just say this too, and I've told this to some of my Gator friends, and I have several of them. And I love Billy Napier. I like him as a person. Got to know him when he was at Alabama a little bit, and I liked what he did with the wide receivers. I like what he's about. He completely turned the season around last year because he looked like he was dead in the water. And if Lagway's healthy, they should be good. But if
you're moving to Florida, you're talking.
No, but I'm just going to say it. My point is this, and it's going to tie into Drinkwitz. If Florida does not live up to expectations again, and if they go 6-6 this time or 7-5 again, I think Billy's in trouble. But if Drinkwitz can figure out a way to plug the holes, and if they win 9 games, I've told because my Gator friends were all about Lane Kiffin, trying to get Lane Kiffin, and I kept telling them, don't know about that, man. I was like, I think Drinkwitz would be a better fit at Florida than Lane Kiffin. And I think Drinkwitz has done a hell of a job so far. I thought at first, his first 2 years, I wasn't sure, but he's impressed me with what he's done. And
10 wins last year.
Yeah. And if he can, and if they, I don't think he's going to win 10 this year, but if he could go 8 to get to 8 or 9, especially the 9, the threshold, I think Drinkwitz is a guy Mizzou's going to have to really pay to hold on to.
Central Arkansas, Kansas, Lafayette, South Carolina, UMass out of the gate. Those were all home games, by the way.
South Carolina,
Missouri, they do not have a home. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have a road game until October the 18th. It's at Auburn. It's so Central Arkansas, Kansas, Lafayette, South Carolina, UMass, open date, and then Alabama on October the 11th. Then at Auburn, at Vandy, open date, home against A&M, home against Mississippi State, then at Oklahoma, at Arkansas.
Well, and when the Gators have won national championships, they've had offensive-minded head coaches. But Billy is an offensive guy. So
that was the Missouri schedule that I was giving you right there.
But see, here's the thing, though. If you look at Florida's schedule, their schedule is brutal again. They've got another tough one.
Let me hop over since you're jumping the gun on me. Florida is set at 6.5 wins, along with Oklahoma. There's only 2 teams set at 6.5 wins, Oklahoma and Florida at 6.5. And just to close things out, Arkansas at 5.5 wins, Kentucky at 4.5 wins, Vanderbilt also at 4.5 wins, along with Kentucky.
And can Diego sneak up on people this year? I mean, that's my question.
Do we know he's fully eligible? I have yet to get that final ruling that was supposedly going to come down.
So, and they were acting like that it was a done deal. But I remember I was questioning God.
He didn't go through a lot in spring, and I don't know. I don't know.
It's not that
we'll find out.
First of all, I think Vanderbilt has very good coaches. They snuck up on Alabama a little bit, but I think it's more of they played really well against Alabama. The defense wasn't ready to play in that game.
No,
they had a hangover from the Georgia game. There's no question about that. But they just made the plays to win, and I always joke that if it had been another quarter, Vanderbilt would have beat us by 2 touchdowns because we couldn't stop them.
By the way, the final low win total is Mississippi State at 3.5 wins.
Lord, I mean, they're not good, and
they lost. They had a good quarterback. He went to LSU and is going to be on the bench.
He's going to back up. Yeah.
So what about So what did Florida? What was Florida's win total?
6.5. 6.5.
So
same as Oklahoma.
Yeah. Here's going to be the issue now, guys. The only way these coaches are going to start getting fired like they were is if they can't recruit, but B, they get if there's no hope, right? If there's any hope, they're going to keep them because of NIL. They can't pay these coaches. They can't afford to pay them and pay the players too. So who's going to come take Florida's job if all their NIL money is paying Billy? See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they get a deal put together, get the guardrails up, I don't think Billy would be here this year. I mean, he outperformed, but it's going to be hard to find. Like, do you think LSU would have kept their coach this year after? He did good at the end, but they're paying that guy $10 million a year. Do you think they would have kept him if he hadn't committed some of his money to NIL?
How long of that was a fairly long contract brought it. It was 10 years.
No, you're talking about
Brian Kelly. Yeah.
It was a big because they took him away from the great Notre Dame. It's been almost 40 years. 40.
Has it been 40 years since they won a championship?
Almost.
Yeah. 89.
Count it down.
89.
88, Steve. 88.
80.
Now.
My
Don't give him an
apologies.
extra year now.
My apologies.
Yeah. 4 more years.
It's a 10-year contract that runs out in 2031 for Brian Kelly, guaranteed $95 million.
$2 million. I knew that.
Wow.
So there you go. I mean, they can't get rid of him. They'd be done.
His buyout right now is $61 million.
Yeah,
it's a Jimbo contract, dirt and egg.
Yeah. Whew. But let's not kid ourselves. Texas A&M.
Oh, they can just peel it off the hip, man.
Yeah,
They'll make another mistake.
I don't think
care.
LSU has got it like that.
I mean, Lord.
Any of those win totals you feel confident about saying over, done, guarantee? Give me a Charles Barkley guarantee.
Guarantee. I mean,
nothing's guaranteed. You gotta like Texas.
Going over 9.5.
Yeah, because their schedule. I mean, they play Georgia. That's it.
They've got Ohio State out of the gate.
That's true. I was just thinking.
I like Texas and Alabama. I think, and I do think Georgia's going to be good. I mean, I know they've got a little bit
9.5. I mean,
yeah.
Who do they play away? They play Alabama and Ole Miss at home.
Yeah.
So I had a question for you, Drew.
Sure.
You talk about Missouri's won 10 games, this or that, and then you talk like Lane Kiffin's not that very good of a coach.
Oh, he's good. He's just not elite, in my opinion.
Well, he's the only person ever to win 10 games at Ole Miss, ever. He's done 2 years in a row.
He has. I just don't think he'll ever win a national title or even an SEC title, but he'll win. He's already won. He's a good football coach. I think he's
like
elite.
That whole, at least hearing Lane talk, and he's talked plenty of this offseason, that entire season last year was about beating Georgia. It felt that way to me.
Well, I mean, I think, no, I disagree. He was, the whole thing was he wanted to be in the playoffs, and he thought he had a playoff team.
He did. And
I think sure does. They kick field goals against Kentucky.
Yeah,
kick field goals to LSU. They kick field goals against Florida.
Yeah,
they win those games, but they didn't.
So I thought they were the best team in the league. I did.
I picked them to go to Atlanta. I picked them to play Texas in the championship,
and that's what was.
They probably should have.
And that's why I just had to shake my head.
8.5 wins for Ole Miss this year.
I think they'll be over. I don't think anything's guaranteed, though, because you first of all, it only takes one bad transfer apple to kill the whole thing, right?
It's a dangerous game that you're playing.
You get a bad safety or something that's, it doesn't take but one player.
Right. Or a few injuries. Because don't forget, I mean, they had Trey Harris was a stud and he was hurt. I mean, it
hurt him in the draft, him being hurt as well. I don't think he's still healthy.
Because I mean, if he had stayed healthy, he was as good as wide receivers there was in the league.
No question.
And it hurt Ole Miss's big playability.
Well, because you had to put somebody on top of him. You didn't, you're in trouble. A corner couldn't stay with him. I mean, I didn't know he transferred around. Where was he before? He was.
I want to say it wasn't he with Connor at one time at Lafayette.
No, that was Lacey. Poor Lacey.
Yeah, I knew.
And Lacey in the corner were both at.
Yeah.
I don't think he was at a Louisiana school, but I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure he was at a Louisiana school,
or maybe it may even have been ULM.
Yeah, I think it might have been. He was with there was another player that was really good, was on his team in high school. I want to say
he was at La Tech.
Yeah, he was
La Tech.
He was at Louisiana Tech, so I knew it was one of those.
Who did he play high school with, Steve? He was
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, and Malik was the wide receiver, and he was the quarterback.
He was the quarterback. That's right. Yep. Yeah. So
Cleveland Joseph Harris, otherwise known as Trey, because he's the third.
Yep.
Did not know his first name was Cleveland, though. So,
right.
So there's that. I did want to at least sneak in this one other story because we started out talking to David Cutcliffe this week and said specifically about the 9 games to Coach Cut. Well, Greg Sankey came out and cited what the College Football Playoff Selection Committee put out for everybody to see last year. This is a direct quote to who was he on with? Of course, the Paul Feinbaum show. You tell me, should we really go to 9 games after what we all saw against in the college
That's what I've
football
been saying. That's exactly verbatim what I've been telling you. I don't think they'll do it. They'd be idiots. It doesn't make financial sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Unless ESPN pays you a lot of money.
Well, ESPN,
they've offered a lot of money, but
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because of the how much money they'll get from going to the playoffs. I think that is, there you go. They go to 9 games if they guarantee them 4 spots, and that's exactly what
using Texas and Tennessee as prime examples. Sankey pushed the narrative that seeding needs to be adjusted as well. So for us, this is a quote from Sankey. For us, Texas went from a 3 to a 5. Tennessee went from hosting to not hosting. It's difficult to explain and defend that decision making, not to mention that the groups that were left out. When you break it down, we have the top 4 spots in the 12-team playoff that matter. Then the next 4 whose are home games, the next 4 who are in, and the next 4 who are out. That's driven a lot of the conversation right now. End quote.
Well, it's just common sense. Why would you play another game if they're not going to take strength of schedule? It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't.
So, yeah, they're better off playing Wisconsin and Florida State and having 2 wins against other conferences to boost their where it makes it so obvious. Even though Clemson got in after getting
they got the golden ticket for winning the ACC championship,
right? But if they win the SEC championship and they were monkey stomped by an SEC school that had 2
South
losses,
Carolina.
Yeah,
beat them before they won the ACC championship game on a last-second 56-yard field goal.
But they had 2. They had 2 losses against the only 2 SEC teams Clemson played last year.
They all lost.
And then they scrimmaged Georgia.
It was awful. They looked awful.
I believe they were 0-3 against SEC teams last year.
They got mauled. It wasn't beat. They got mauled.
Who else they lose to?
I read that.
Lost Georgia and
South Carolina.
South Kakalaki.
That's it, right?
And then they got into the playoff and got whacked.
Well, by another SEC school,
right?
But they actually played good at that game.
And don't forget, they they had to beat SMU on a miracle field goal.
Lost to Texas in the playoff.
Yeah,
that is the 3rd SEC loss.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, appreciate it as always, sir. That is going to wrap us up here from Woody Anderson Ford. Braves baseball comes up next. We'll see if the Braves cannot continue winning and the Nationals will continue losing as Bryce Elder's on the mound against Mitchell Parker, as that game has already cranked up. And the next time you hear Drew, he'll be in Marietta. He won't be in Atlanta. He'll be in Marietta, Georgia.
The suburbs.
That's right, the burbs.
Yeah.
They'll be in the Battery tomorrow morning with Scott Tyson. It's almost bedtime for you, brother.
Yeah, forget that.
He probably just woke up.
So
naps are a wonderful thing.
Yeah, LeBaron Philon staying in the draft. That's the other headline.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Alabama will be on the look for 1-2 spots. They got 2 available.
That's a mistake.
And they're at least going to fill one of them.
Thank you to Woody Anderson Ford.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all